Hi, my name is Cameron Carlson from AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Matsuricon 2019 with my good pal, Mr. Justin.
Briner, hello!
A lot easier when you can do your name.
Right.
So, basic question for a lot of our newer fans out there that may have not known this about you. How'd you get started in the world of voice acting and acting in general?
Sure. My parents were involved in like local dinner theater, community theater when I was really, really small, and have been since then. So I'd always been sort of tapped into that like theatrical community, and I sort of started doing it on my own. They got me involved in some capacity, and then I sort of found a love for it. So I followed that thread through school. I went to like a performing arts school to really get intense about it, and I always identified about myself that I had a passion for entertaining and performing, and I wanted to do that in some capacity. So when it came time to figure out, okay, where am I taking this after school? How am I going to leverage this into a career that is fulfilling and rewarding? One of the things that came to mind was voiceover, because I so much of my childhood was spent playing video games and watching cartoons and anime, and you don't make the connection back then. You're just like, these are super awesome characters that I love. But then, when I got older, I'm like, someone is behind this. How and they're amazing. So how can I emulate that? So yeah, I just sort of started to train. I'm very thankful that I have like a background in theater and singing. That served me very well starting out, just to have that base already established. But then around college time, I was transferring schools, and I ended up in Texas, in like the Dallas area, which ended up being pretty perfect. So it was a couple of friends of mine were already involved with Funimation. They sent my information along, and then I got called in, and so it's really escalated since then.
Yeah, I'd heard earlier who you were associated with. It's like, oh, really? All right, cool. I know those guys too. So a really fun show you got to be in that I picked up this year after talking to Aaron and Damon was Namaka, and you played Nico.
Yes.
How much fun was it working on that, knowing that you also have this, he's such a great character, and that he has a really odd backstory about how he was experimented on, and that gave him his crazy immunity to poison. So was it like working on that really fun, I mean, really, honestly, I could see there's a good chemistry between all four of you, and then having Ian be your prison guard like that, there was so weird, it was such a good chemistry. So how much fun was it to work on that show?
It was an absolute blast. I can't understate that enough. It was so much fun. Recording that show had me on the floor sometimes. It's hysterical. Yeah. I knew it was a comedy. I knew it was going to be funny. I had no idea what I was in for. So yeah, Nico was some of the most fun I've had recording anything. Just to be able to let loose like that and have this pure joy is exactly. I love him. So yeah, that was really, really rewarding. It's a role that doesn't come across very often, and now that it has, I'm very thankful for it.
Like I said, I laughed the entire time. So now it's a show I personally haven't watched yet, but My Hero Academia, you play the main character, Deku. And how is it like knowing that you have another movie on the way and a fourth season on the way? How much like you're like, man, this was such a slow burn when I started this, and all of a sudden, poof! Like how's that been for you?
It's amazing just to see it sort of take on a life of its own. Really, the past year, the fandom has exploded exponentially. You can't go 10 feet in an anime convention without seeing cosplay of someone, right? And people will cosplay every character from that show. It just really speaks to, I think, what a brilliant work it is, it's sort of gone beyond the limitations of, oh, it's anime. So many people are watching it. Families are getting together to watch this show for the first time, and it's I just think that's super special. Like, to have something that is bringing so many folks together and that so many people are passionate about. There's nothing else like it, and of course, to be a part of that, I don't go into it, dreaming that it's going to be a landmark show or that it's going to be the most popular thing in the world. I'm just trying to tell a really honest story, because I do think Deku is an important character for a lot of people, especially folks growing up and dealing with issues that he has had to go through. To have someone like that to root for, I think it's really the best. Yeah. So, I mean, I get very personally fulfilled by just working on it alone. Now to see it take on this whole new life is amazing, because it just feels like I'm part of something so much bigger than myself now, which is it's really special.
I love your enthusiasm. So you also were in this really smaller but oddly good show called Garo the Animation. It was directed by Miss Caitlin Glass. What was it like, A, to be directed by her, and how was the show for you?
Garo was wonderful. She had such a passion for making that world come to life, and you can really tell watching through it that it feels like this cohesive universe that you're living in. It was also, I believe, the very first thing that I worked on with Caitlin. So that was, there's an added level of pressure there to do well. But I just love the show. I think it was so smartly written. It's very, very compelling stuff. So I just loved being a part of it. We had a really great cast that I think also had really nice chemistry with each other. I love those little like core ensemble shows where everyone's bringing something sort of different to the table, and that's how they make this awesome team. That was really awesome. It was one of my first main roles with Funimation, so of course I wanted to get it right, and I really try my best to adhere to her vision.
I remember the Twitter feed of hey, we're watching this today, and you guys were all getting together. I remember that. Yeah. So this is really cool because I have a big personal connection to it through talking to other voice actors. Is Dust and Elysium Tale, a game that you guys did all the way back in 2012. You were in a great voice cast with a lot of now people at the time weren't really well known, but are now like boom, 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 getting well known. And now after 7 years, it's coming to the Switch of all gaming consoles. So what's it like to hey, I worked on this little game that's just slowly added on even more people in the industry. So what's it like seeing it grow in popularity and everything?
It's incredible. I mean, what started as essentially a passion project has taken on such life. So many people play it. I still have people telling me, "You were in Dust? Who did you play?" And I'll tell them, they're like, "Oh my God, of course." Yeah, that was really fascinating. Such a flash in the pan sort of experience where our director Devin basically assembled this international cast of soon to be superstars. It's really incredible thinking back on it how the cast has since just gone on to do these amazing things. It was really, that's my first, I think, major voice role in anything at all, in any kind of media. So of course it's always going to hold a very special place in my heart. It doesn't hurt that the game's just super, super fun to play. So being part of a really great game like that has had so much love poured into it, it just makes my gamer heart full, It's really nice.
Yeah, because I've talked to a lot of your fellow cast members over the years, and I was like, hey, I know that game. Yeah. So it also says in your bio that you actually love to cook when you're not voice acting. What dishes do you like to cook? And have you had the chance to hang out with fellow foodies at Funimation, such as Ian Sinclair?
Yes, I have, definitely. We talk a lot about food and where to eat food and what the best food is.
Also then lose weight after eating it?
Well, I mean, we don't focus on that. Who cares? That's
so when you did Tory Cup.
Right. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. That would make me so hungry. Sure. Well, it's of muscle. I love to cook. I like the gratification of having getting to enjoy the work that you put in right away and getting to serve it to others and have them enjoy it as well. I like the sort of minutia of, all right, when I'm doing this again, what am I going to change and how am I going to change my technique or what I am cooking with. So lately I've been making a lot of Indian curries, trying to make my own masala blends and everything, and that's been really, really awesome. It's my favorite cuisine for sure. I also like cooking. I was on a real big French onion soup bender for a while. So I was caramelizing some onions for all of winter, basically. I couldn't get enough. Those have been the ones that stand out recently, but I just really like to cook just about anything.
So I'm a scientist, so I know about with onions they release sulfuric acid as you cut them. What would be a tip for somebody so that they know how to not obviously burn their eyes out from the sulfuric acid?
It's sort of a weird counterintuitive thing that for inexperienced chefs it can be a little scary to get a sharp knife, but cutting it with a sharp knife and also not cutting it lengthwise instead of against the grain is gonna you're not going to release as much of that acid. The fibers aren't breaking down, and the cleaner cuts make it so you won't be crying as much. But when you have to cut 8 onions for a recipe, you're gonna cry a little bit, yeah, at least.
I actually used to work with sulfuric acid on a day-to-day basis for my job, so I know how bad it can get. You got to make sure you got to be careful with it. Yes. So
goggles, right?
Goggles and a face mask. So it also says in your bio that you're a major gaming addict, mainly to Hearthstone. How much fun is it to play for that and to work on a date and hopefully one day have that phone call from Ivory, California from Blizzard call you and say, hey, come on in for a roll?
That'd be outstanding, right? Like they have been such a juggernaut of the gaming industry ever since Warcraft.
Let's see, they were Interplay.
Yeah, yep.
In the 80s, and then switched over to Blizzard in the late 90s, and that's where they picked up.
Yeah, I mean, they have such a commitment to the quality of their voiceover and their world building that of course it'd be an honor to be a part of. I've been playing games since I was 3 years old, like NES. I got exposed to Mario, and then that's downhill from there. I love it, and I love that it has become so popular and mainstream. Everyone has a Nintendo Switch now. That would have never happened. So yeah, that's really special to me. Hearthstone has been a lot of fun. I've always loved card games, even if they make me angry. A lot of the streamers that I watch for like card games and Hearthstone and Magic Arena have since moved to like auto chess now, and I've been sort of dipping my feet into that world of the what is it?
CCG.
Yeah, like Dota Underlords now, and League of Legends has one that I forget what it's called, but yeah, that's been a lot of fun. It's cool to see how these trends pick up and move in different weird directions. Like I played the ill-fated Valve Artifact card game, and I was like, for months, I'm like, I can't wait for Artifact, baby.
And then you're like,
well, it came out and everything went wrong, and everyone left and a mass exodus to these auto chess games. So I'm like, well, let's see what this is all about. Oh, I see. This is actually fun. Wow.
I heard about that in the gaming circle when I was like, oh, that was a complete failure. Great job, Valve. Yeah. All right. So wrapping things up, what titles do you want fans to check out right now that are currently available that aren't behind the pesky NDA wall that it might be coming up?
Totally. I just wrapped a show not too long ago called Sarazanmai. Basically, it's about kappas and coming of age, and if I told you any more, you wouldn't believe me. It's also has musical elements, so you get to hear folks like me and Alejandro Saab and Damon Mills, Ian Sinclair, and Rico Fajardo is the other one, who we all sing songs every episode. So that was really rewarding. It's a nice little marriage of like my past and my present. And what else? I'm working on a show right now called The Ones Within. Yeah, it's about like Let's Players who've been sort of isekai'd into some, I don't know where we are, but we have to get 100 million views or else we'll never be able to escape. And that's been a lot of fun. I can never tell what direction it's headed, but it's for folks who like to watch subs and dubs of shows. I share the role with Yamashita-san, who does the voice of Deku in Hero. Okay. So it's a nice little
bridge there.
Exactly. And that's about all I can think of right now. Yeah.
No problem. So where can we follow you online if we want to follow you online, and a message you want to give to all the fans that have like helped you along your journey into where you are now?
Totally. You can follow what I'm up to. Twitter's the best place to find me. Get your pens out. This is going to be tough. It's at Justin Briner. I'm also on Instagram, but I don't use it as much. So if you're hoping to connect with me, it's a little tougher for me on there. But gosh, for everyone watching and fans of my work and anime in general, like, we have arrived. I think it's a great time to be an anime fan, a fan of just about anything. So revel in it and find your tribe and make friends and make memories, because something really special is happening in pop culture, and we're lucky enough to be along for the ride. So I just hope to see it continue to grow and more fans get ingratiated into the community, and I love where it's headed.
All right, Justin, thank you again so much for coming on and hang out with me. Thank you again.